Falls from height, crush injuries, being struck by falling debris or by heavy equipment. Those are the loud hazards, the ones that can end a career or a life in a heartbeat. But there's a quieter, more insidious threat vibrating through the floor of every cab on every site. It doesn't make you bleed and it doesn't make the evening news, but it is systematically dismantling the structural integrity of the workforce. It's called whole body vibration, or WBV. And for the man in the seat, it's the slow, rhythmic destruction of his spine. For years, the industry shrugged off the constant shaking of equipment as part of the job. Operators dismissed the resulting pain as simple fatigue. We treated it like a stiff neck, something a hot shower and a weekend off would probably fix. But the latest data tells a much darker story. WBV isn't just a nuisance, it's a chronic mechanical stressor that attacks the musculoskeletal and neurological systems. To understand why that's so dangerous, you need to look at the physics of the human body. We're not solid blocks of concrete. We're complex, flexible suspension system of bone, fluid, and tissue. Every part of us has a natural frequency, a specific speed at which it naturally wants to vibrate. And the WBV problem arises when the frequency of a machine matches the natural frequency of your internal organs or your spine. It's called resonance, and when it hits, your body stops resisting the movement and actually starts amplifying it. Instead of dampening the energy, you absorb it, driving mechanical force deep into your cellular structure. And those shocks exceed what your body can handle, causing micro trauma that slowly adds up shift after shift and year after year. We used to think that it was just about a bit of lower back pain, but the biological cost is far more expansive. Think of your spinal discs as hydraulic shock absorbers for your back. Now, under constant oscillation, the tough outer ring of that disc undergoes a fatigue failure cycle. It's exactly like bending a paperclip back and forth until it eventually snaps. Over time, tiny fissures develop, leading to herniation. Even worse, the vibration starves the spine of nutrients. It literally chokes off the blood supply the discs need to repair themselves, meaning that the damage that you do on a Monday hasn't even begun to heal by the time you climb back into the cab on a Tuesday morning. And then there's the neurological element, what is known as the tonic vibration reflex. When you're being tossed around, your muscles contract involuntarily to try and keep you upright. It's a survival instinct. But after 8 hours of constant firing, those muscles are spent. And once those muscles give up the ghost, they can no longer shield and protect your bones. Your skeletal structure is left wide open, absorbing the full impact of every jolt and every bump. And recent research has even found that this mechanical stress triggers systemic inflammation in the blood, leading potentially to heart strain and long term disease. Turns out a career in the cab doesn't just wear out your joints, it actually changes your body chemistry. And the danger isn't spread evenly across the fleet either. Some machines are born high emitters. Skid steers are notorious for this. A skid steer, with its short wheelbase and lack of any real primary suspension, doesn't so much drive over rubble as it does pitch violently across it. Haul trucks are exactly the same. Even a well engineered dumper becomes a torture chamber when it's driven over the lumps and bumps of an ungraded road. The vertical shocks from plot holes and the fore and aft snapping from sudden braking create a multi directional assault that no human spine was ever designed to withstand. And mobile crushing plants offer a different flavour of risk. Operators standing on platforms attached to the vibrating chassis are taking that energy directly through their feet and their legs, which have even less damping capacity than a seated backside. Now, vibration rarely works alone, and the real danger comes from the cocktail effect. If an operator is working in the cold and damp, their back pain will develop twice as fast. If they're exposed to high noise, the vibration actually makes the inner ear more susceptible to permanent damage. But the biggest mistake, and I'm sure you're all guilty of this, the biggest mistake apparently is the jump and lift. An operator climbs out of a vibrating cab after 3, 4, 5 hours and tries to lift a heavy object. Their spinal tissues are in a destabilized, jelly like state from the vibration, and they're at their most vulnerable just when they're performing the most strenuous labor. A simple 5-minute recovery period before lifting anything heavy could prevent a lifetime of disability. Yet it's the most ignored rule in the book. So, how do we combat this? For decades, we've relied on basic air seats, but we now know they can actually amplify high frequency shocks on a rough site. There are active suspension seats that use high speed sensors to read the floor and counteract the vibration in real time, but I don't think any of us will have access to those anytime soon. Beyond the tech, the most effective tool we have is often the simplest: road maintenance. Treating a whole road as a safety system rather than just a path for logistics can cut vibration by 30%. We also need to look at the soft side of operation. A skilled operator who understands speed selection and seat adjustment is their own best defense. If the seat is set to the wrong weight, it'll bottom out and hammer their spine. If an operator hammers over rough terrain while his truck is empty, they're asking for an injury. Job rotation, where we limit time on high vibration machines like skid steers, ensures that no one person takes the full brunt of the day's dose. In the future, we might have digital industrial hygiene, telematics that tell a manager where the vibration hotspots are on a site before anyone gets hurt. But until that is implemented and becomes standard, it will all come down to culture. Whole body vibration is a silent hazard because the damage accumulates not over days, not over weeks, but over decades. And by the time you feel it, the damage is already done. So the next time you're shaking all over, experiencing shake, rattle, and roll, or you feel all shook up, just remember the damage you're potentially doing.